What's going on, guys? WhiteFox1225 here with another video, and today I want to talk about the possibility of a follow MMO. We'll be talking about the follow MMO that was cancelled a few years back, the possibility of getting a new one and what it might look like and what I want to see from it. Before we start the video, let me just say I am a little sick, so I apologize if my voice is a little weird, but let's just get right into the video. I don't think a lot of people know that there was a cancelled follow MMO, but there was definitely one a few years back. Bethesda outsourced the game to Interplay, and they were supposed to make the MMO, and they got the rights to use the Fallout name, but Bethesda felt that development was taking way too long, so they rescinded the rights to use the Fallout name, and then there was a huge legal battle between the two, and in the end Bethesda won, and basically the game that Interplay was working on couldn't be released with the name Fallout. The company Interplay that was making the game tried to release it without any references to the Fallout game. They actually had a successful Kickstarter for it and raised about $6,000, which is kind of weird because I'm not sure how there could be a successful Kickstarter for a game just for $6,000. But anyway, it looks like they were going to make the game, and then the project now looks dead because there's been pretty much no activity from the developer for about 2 years. So that project looks like it's pretty much dead in the water, but it is definitely possible we'll get a follow MMO in the future, especially when you consider that Bethesda was really open to the idea and really wanted a follow MMO up until the stuff with Interplay happened and they couldn't make the game because it was taking too long and they didn't have the resources. So I definitely think it's a possibility we'll get another game in the future, another follow MMO, and if we do get one, it's pretty likely to look like the one that Interplay was making, or at least somewhat similar to it. When Bethesda gave Interplay the license to make the game, they only had a few requirements. One was that there was no playable offline component to the game, so you had to be online all the time. The game also had to allow for more than 100 players. I'm guessing that means on-screen at the same time, so it had to be pretty massive. It had to have a subscription fee and a subscription element, and after the launch of the game, they needed 10,000 subscribers. So obviously Bethesda definitely intended this to be an online game, a huge MMO, not just a game that you can either play online or offline. Those requirements don't give us a great look at what the game actually would have looked like, but luckily Interplay kept developing the game even after Bethesda took the Fallout license, so we can see what the game was intended to be. You were supposed to have control over a group of survivors, and you would build a base, recruit NPCs, and you'd have to make decisions, fight enemy hordes, and gather resources for your people. Now ironically, that sounds a lot like the Fallout 4 settlement system, like scarily similar to it. I'm not sure if Bethesda had those ideas and they held on to them for Fallout 4, but basically it sounds like a Fallout 4 settlement MMO. That's really what it sounds like to me. I also think the game was supposed to be top-down, which is definitely worth mentioning. Not sure if that's something they would still do because those games are a little bit more rare. This one definitely had a top-down strategy element to it, and it wasn't a third-person shooter or anything like that. Personally, I would love to see a game like this come back to life. It would really be cool to play with your friends and make factions and make political choices for your groups of survivors and have an open world PvP element to it. Maybe also some survival stuff where you have to gather resources and food. I think all of that would make a really good MMO. Survival MMOs and survival games in general are really popular right now, and I really think Fallout could just claim the genre for their own if they came out with a really good MMO. As for if we'll ever see the game, I'm not completely sure. Obviously, like I said, Bethesda and ZeniMax were open to the idea in the past, so I'm sure they're open to it in the future, but they do have a lot of things lined up. They already have the Elder Scrolls Online out, so I'm not sure if they want to compete with that. So there's a lot of different elements in play, and I know they're working on a lot of games right now, including the next Elder Scrolls game, and probably already brainstorming for the next Fallout game. But there's a good possibility I think one day we'll see one, or at least have an online component to a Fallout game in the future, even if it has a single player too. But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you have any ideas or questions or comments, leave them down below. If you guys want to see more videos on Fallout, the Elder Scrolls, ESO, anything like that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.